just the end product that needs to be more polished, and he will be an exquisite football player. I really believe he would be one of the best wingers in the league if his end product could be more polished. He is going to develop that, ladies and gentlemen. I told you, Savinho, all he needed was a little polishing, and it was completely over. 1 goal, 1 assist, man of the match, 100%. We actually won a football game. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
And you know what? That wasn't a good performance. Our first win, obviously from this horrid form, was not going to be a standard 3-0, a 4-0, cliche Manchester City dominating the game type of win. It was going to be an ugly match, and this was 100% as people would have expected as our first win. We're obviously going to get into Leicester City, but let me tell you something. They could have taken their chances, and this could have easily been a 3-2 or a 2-2 draw. We could have dropped a couple more points today if it had not been for some of the horrible decisions by some of the Leicester City attackers. Looking at the stats here, we had 5 shots on target to their 4. They had more possession than us. They had more passes than us. Their passing accuracy was higher. And they had around the same amount of shots. Leicester City definitely did not deserve to lose this game. The first player I want to talk about is Mavididi. Absolutely amazing football player, man. Oh my God, completely deserving of that number 10 number for Leicester City. All I'm going to say is that he had Akanji on the ropes. He had Rico Lewis on the ropes, and nobody dealt with Mavididi today. That ball in from the left-hand side to Jamie Vardy was absolutely exquisite. And the fact that Jamie Vardy didn't use his head gobsmacked me. That was absolutely the wrong decision by Jamie Vardy. Obviously, legend of the Premier League, everything that he's achieved in the Premier League, yes, albeit one, but still the most memorable trophy we're ever going to see in our lives. He could have delivered a goal in that scenario, and it could have changed the entire momentum of the game. Mavididi was causing so many problems on that left wing side, and he was cutting inside, and he was so absolutely silk. The step overs, getting past the Kanji like he was nothing. Brilliant performance by Mavididi. Another player that I want to mention, El Khannouss. Oh my God, the silkiness of this guy. Beautiful, beautiful distributions on the wing. He was causing us all sorts of problems. When Gvardiol was a little bit out of position, when Rico Lewis was a little bit out of position, spraying balls outside. Looking at the lineup, there weren't too many players that stood out to me from Leicester City. I thought Soumare in the midfield, I thought he was brilliant. He was winning challenges a lot. He was distributing the ball pretty well. He was very strong and composed in that midfield. Bernardo, I thought, was very good on the ball as well, spraying passes out of danger, out of pockets, into players with more space on the left-hand side, especially Kristiansen on the left-back spot, who in my opinion is another player that I could actually talk about. Amazing fullback. We don't have a fullback like that, ladies and gentlemen. We have Kyle Walker, but all I can say is Kristiansen was bombarding down that left back spot. He was causing us a lot of problems as well. Rico Lewis couldn't really deal with him at all, but still, great performance by Leicester City. They definitely deserved a lot more than a 2-0 loss. As far as Manchester City goes, we're going to talk about every single player. All I'm going to say is that we were pretty anemic in terms of our defense. Again, toothless. That header by, I think it was Buonanotte. We're going to start with our defense. Absolutely horrid. Every time Kristiansen in the first half bombarded down that left back spot into that left wing spot, every time El Khannouss was on the ball, every time Mavididi was getting into some dangerous positions, we looked absolutely anemic. That header from Jamie Vardy onto Buonanotte and then him hitting the post, everybody in that City box stood still. They were just ball watching, absolutely no grit, no determination. I don't know what Akanji was doing, just again nonchalantly, just not even giving an ounce of effort. Yet again, it's the same old story in the last couple of weeks, and yet again it happened today. Our best defender and the only defender that actually puts in a lot of effort into his tackles and actually wins a lot of tackles and who's the most composed on the ball is Nathan Ake. He, apart from Ruben Diaz, is the defender that I feel most secure with in our back line. Nathan Ake, I thought was pretty good today. I thought Josko Gvardiol, apart from that horrible back pass with his head that Jamie Vardy could have capitalized on, I thought he had a decent game. He was combining pretty well in that left back spot, especially when Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden were there. Yeah, I love to see his touches on the ball because when Gvardiol gets the ball, he does like a little shimmy. He goes to the right, back to the left, and back to the right again. He's very good at shaking off players out of him. He's very good at creating space. Defensively, he needs to patch things up. He is going to come good, ladies and gentlemen. Just like how I said with Savinho, he's going to come good. He just needs a little bit more time. Rico Lewis, I get frustrated with Rico Lewis every single game. A very limited football player. Perhaps that has to do with the system in which he's playing out of position with what Pep Guardiola wants him to do. But the thing is that, especially that play it was in the second half, Kristiansen was on the ball, Rico Lewis was pulling his shirt and pulling his arm, and then he got pressed when the referee came up and gave a foul in favor of Leicester City. I mean, that was 100% a foul. I don't like seeing that mentality within our players, especially at a young age, because that's going to develop more, and then sooner or later, you become Bruno Fernandes. I thought Kovacic had a good game today. I thought Kovacic had a good game today. If I were to give it a numerical value, I'd say like a 7 out of 10. On the transition, Kovacic was very good on the transition. He was making things happen. He was getting me off my seat a little bit. The spark that we need in that midfield, he definitely had a lot of that in his locker today. Average performance by Phil Foden, in my opinion. Absolutely average performance by him. He didn't do anything crazy or anything that I would have expected from Phil Foden. It's tough love, ladies and gentlemen. I'm obviously not giving up on him, but I expect so much more from what he's been putting out there in the last couple of weeks. That was a great shot, great goal by Savinho to capitalize, but still, you got to do more. You got to cut inside. There was a play in that second half where he could have cut inside, but he chose instead to pass it back. And there was one play where he did cut inside and Mavididi completely took the ball off him. Bernardo Silva, it's very similar to Rico Lewis, nonchalantly fouling players and then getting pressed and getting annoyed when the referee calls it out. He's a player that doesn't get a lot of criticism, and fair play to him for not being injured and playing a lot of our games. I'm not going to get on him too much, but Bernardo Silva needs to be a little bit more enthusiastic about his game a little bit. He's getting a little bit more composed. That may seem strange, but the way we want Bernardo Silva to play is to be erratic, is to be a little bit manic with your passes, with your distribution, especially with your little shimmies, with your stepovers. I didn't see the Bernardo Silva of old. You don't need pace for this, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a mental thing. He has the ability to do it. He just doesn't do it enough anymore, and it's a little bit frustrating. I'm not going to get on Bernardo Silva too much. I thought he had a decent game today. Kevin De Bruyne, this might be very unpopular, but it's just how I feel, ladies and gentlemen. If we sign a couple of midfielders in January and a couple of players are coming back, I don't want to see Kevin De Bruyne start a lot of games, especially in the second half of the season. Against the big teams, yes, but against the other teams, I want him to come on every single game, the 60th, 70th minute, and become a spark in our team with his creativity. He needs to be fresh when he comes in. Kevin De Bruyne can take a little bit of advantage of that. We have to be strategic here. He is not the Kevin De Bruyne of old. There was this one play where he was sprinting towards Mavididi or a Samare. He tried to like rugby tackle him or like bear hug him, and then he just sprayed the ball out wide to, I think it was El Khannouss or Buenanote on the right-hand side. That was a little bit strange from Kevin De Bruyne. The crosses today were horrible. He didn't have one good cross today from Kevin De Bruyne. I don't remember one good cross from Kevin De Bruyne. Maybe one, but honestly, you keep trying that, it just doesn't work. The corner kick gimmick that we do, we pass it to Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva or Gvardiol. They lay it off, and Kevin De Bruyne does a first-time cross. It didn't work today. Let's try something else, please. Next up, we have Erling Haaland, Mr. Croqueta. That was absolutely insane. An in-form Haaland would have scored that, in my opinion. Completely done 2 or 3 Leicester City players there. That's something that we don't see from Erling Haaland. He does have the ability to do that. He may not have the technical ability to dribble the ball, but because of his strength and power and bursts of acceleration, he has the ability to go past players. He just needs to do it more often. Fantastic goal. Obviously a fantastic cross, but that header was absolutely amazing. That is a part of his game that he needs to develop a lot. There was one play where he sprayed the ball pretty amazingly well to Phil Foden, especially in that first half with a beautiful threaded ball with his left foot. Erling Haaland does have the capabilities of passing the ball pretty well. He deserves a lot more credit than what people what people have been saying about him, especially with these League 2 bullshit-ass comments. But all I'm going to say is Erling Haaland scores a goal, we win the game. Amazing performance by Erling Haaland today. I'm not going to say anything else. Great performance today. Savinho, oh my god. Take that, you Savinho haters. Take that. You can shove it up your pie holes. I am so freaking happy about Savinho today. 1 goal, 1 assist. Absolutely my man of the match in my opinion. I saved him for last because he was our best player in my opinion throughout the entirety of the game. Not because he was in terms of the most consistent, but he scores the goal. Good shot by Phil Foden. Amazing, amazing, amazing positioning by Savinho. Great finish with his left foot. Great celebration announcing his baby. But still, all I'm going to say is that cross to Erling Haaland. Again, the finishing touches by Savinho. I'm telling you right now, if he gets those finishing touches, he is going to be one of the best wingers in the Premier League. I am 100% confident. Did you think I'd be forgetting about James McAtee? Absolutely not. I was so glad Phil Foden was taken off. No creativity, no grit, no determination to beat your man by Phil Foden. Instead, we give it to James McAtee, who's been dying for a chance. Pep Guardiola, you can have that. This is all your fault. This is what you robbed of us over the last several months, especially in the last several weeks, where we needed some spark and creativity in that midfield. You chose to sit this boy out and instead play our 87-year-old midfielders instead of him, who can't track back for shit. All I can say is that goal was absolutely started by James McAtee. Completely done two Leicester City players there. I forgot what he did. I think it was a croqueta. Regardless, he got past 2 players. I thought the ball was going to go out of play, but he still manages to go there. He does a little body feint, if you saw that, to draw out the space from the impeding Leicester City defender. Gives it to Kevin De Bruyne, a beautiful pass, or I think it was Kevin De Bruyne, a beautiful pass to Savinho. I mean, that was absolutely exquisite. That was the Manchester City of old, and it all started from James motherfucking McAtee. He needs to start against West Ham. Oh, you're being negative. Oh, it's too much criticism. Just enjoy the win. Yeah, it's a win, but it's against... It's a team in the bottom 3 of the table here. Yes, it's a clean sheet. Yes, it's a win. Yes, I'm happy about it. But defensively, we look absolutely toothless. We look so mindless when players are coming at us, when the ball is in the box. Everybody is just standing still. Nobody wants to deliver a tackle. Nobody wants to put their body on the line. This is going to come and bite us in the butt, especially with a team like West Ham, especially a man like Jared Bowen, who can completely punish us with his left foot. Okay, some of those chances that I see El Khannouss and Buonanotte have, if that was Jared Bowen, I mean, oh my goodness, those could have ended up in the back of the net. Great win. We are at 31 points. Fantastic. Clean sheet and 3 points to end the new year. Next up is the January transfer window. I just seen here that Trent Alexander-Arnold might actually be going to Real Madrid. I don't really want that to happen. Okay, I'm obviously not a Liverpool fan, but it's a local Liverpool lad coming up the ranks, and you don't really want to see a player like that leave. I honestly want him to stay at Liverpool. I mean, I want him to stay in the Premier League. It makes the league more competitive, in my opinion. But again, Real Madrid is looking very busy. A lot of clubs are looking very busy. It's time for us to make a statement signing or 2, or possibly even 3. Echeverri is coming. Oscar Bob is close to coming. We got other players coming back from injury. This could be the start of something. You never know. Our first win was always going to be like this. Regardless, I am very happy. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit that like and notification button. I will see you all next time.